Okay, well, first of all, welcome to our presentation. Before we begin, I want to ask you 2 questions. I think they gave you 1 paper per table. Well, not table, but per group. Does every team have like a pen or pencil, something to write?
We don't.
No.
We don't. I have.
Well, you're just like, you're very attention, please. Well, they're just very basic questions. The first one is, what technologies do you think could be used on Earth for sustainable development at the moment? There are 3 minutes to like debate among yourselves and write, I don't know, 1, 2, however you want. What technologies do you think can be used on Earth at the moment? Sustainable development. That's the first one. You have
The others one? The others one? ¿La ciudad de Panamá? Sí.
One minute.
If you finish, you raise your hand to check just to make sure. You finish, raise your hand. Who else finished? You already finished? Who else? Who's missing? That's it. Okay. You have 1 minute left. Okay. Well, did all the teams finish? All the teams, did they finish answering?
Yep.
Okay. Well, the second question, well, there are only 2, but the second question is, then what technologies do you think can be used up in the space? Not only on Earth, up on the space. Technologies that can be used up on the space. All the 3 minutes. Okay. Attention, please. Could you lower the volume? Attention, please. Thank you. Well, to start. Well, how does any of you know the current state of our home planet? Sure, you may know the statistics, the numbers, but you may know it up here, but do you really feel it here? Earth, our dear home planet, is breaking apart day by day. All because of us, humans. We've been using Earth's resources for years, decades, even centuries. Pollution, global warming, also hunger. Those are just 3 of the many problems we face today at the moment. Our team, we're very concerned about the future of Earth. If continuing like this, we'll only result in a day when Earth will shatter completely into small, useless pieces. There has to be a change. Okay, before starting with graphene, let me explain a bit about graphite, the material which it is made of. Graphite is a very stable form of carbon. You can see it in our daily life. The pencil leaves, they're made of graphite. Well, scientists in recent years that found traces of graphite on the moon, on the surface of the moon. For our project, the graphite on the moon will be recollected, and then there will be manufactured into graphene for future uses. The graphene is a thin layer of pure carbon. The graphite is formed of multiple layers of graphene stacked on top of its others. Well, the graphene, this innovative material, is considered as revolutionary because it is ultralight, but at the same time, it is very tough. It is very flexible. You can bend it, like you can see there, but at the same time, it is stronger than steel, which is a metal, and you know that it's very strong, right? Also, it is fire resistant, but at the same time, it can keep the heat inside. There are many purposes for graphene. The main ones are the medical uses, the purification of water, and the solar panels. There are vast possibilities for graphene in medicine. In medical uses, graphene can be an option for a multiple of treatments and or experiments. Well, cancer treatments, birth control, antimicrobial applications, neurological disorders, or well, those are just some of the examples that can be used. Over 96% of the Earth's water is saline, thus it is undrinkable. Well, since we heard a while ago, only 1% is drinkable for humans. Graphene is a very effective filter, and it could be used to purify the salt water into drinkable, pure water. Graphene sheets perforated by holes the size of 1 nanometer, which is 1 billionth of a meter, really, really small. It allows water molecules to pass through, but stops any undesired chemicals from passing. The solar cells require materials that are conductive and allow the light to get through, and that makes them benefit from the graphene super conductivity and transparency. It is very transparent. In 2014, a group of researchers claimed a record efficiency of 50.6% for a new type of graphene-based solar cells, which is about twice compared to the 8.6 reported in 2012 from a cell that is made from silicon. And this proves that graphene could be used to make solar panels that are more effective than the ones that are currently used. And these solar panels made from graphene could be used up in space, since our project is in the space, to recollect the solar energy, which is one of the many of Earth's alternative solutions.
Okay, solar energy. The solar energy is basically one of the most used alternative forms of energy. However, it is really, really expensive. It costs a relatively high compared to its effectiveness. It is necessary for all of us, literally, to look for a new type of energy that is renewable, effective, and less expensive. Most of the solar energy on Earth, of the solar panels, is lost when it passes through the atmosphere, because it have several types of gases, or even the temperature can affect on if the solar panels are going to receive the correct amount of energy, to produce through a city or a house or whatever it's used for. Well, space has several major advantages for the solar power, because since our solar panels are going to be in a space settlement, there is not atmosphere, so there is no air, there is nothing to interfere with the power from the sun up to our solar panels. There are many types of energy, and one of the most important types of energy is magnetic energy, that is basically in every type of energy that we see. Well, basically in everything except solar power. That's why solar power and magnetic energy is so important.
We all want to keep clean the environment, but one way to do it is by having magnetic energy. So an example of that is putting magnets underneath streets in a big city, because a major problem is air pollution. So if we want to take out air pollution, then we need to take out the source that emits it. So by having these magnets underneath the streets, you can make these cars with magnets underneath the surface of the car that they repel with the magnets underneath. So these cars are not touching the ground, they are floating. They can move without using any kind of fossil fuels. They will only use the magnetic energy to move. This magnetic energy will be a better way to replace the fossil fuels, the gasoline. They will not emit gases, and therefore there will not be more pollution.
Waste, if not properly disposed of, can become several factors of pollution. There are two kinds of waste that the human body produces. The first one are fecal waste, and the second is the urine waste. The fecal waste through a process or through a machine called omniprocessor can be converted into clean and purified water that is usually cleaner than the one that we drink all the days. The process consists in taking the waste into a chamber where the liquid is going to be separated from the solid waste. Then the vapor generated by that water is going to be passing through a purification process. So the result is clean water and also electricity. There is also by osmosis we can by osmosis we can also recycle the urine waste because they are put like in high concentrations of salt and also of sugar, so the water is separated from the waste, and then the ammonia is used to generate the electricity. I know it sounds like kind of gross, or it's like you or something like that, but if you start thinking that we need water for all the population, and that this can work to make the water cleaner than the one that we usually drink, well, it's not wrong because it's already clean. Also, we can recycle the food waste. The food waste is, well, it's passed through a process called anaerobic digestion, where microorganisms inside our bodies break all the waste. And after that, it generates methane that can be turned into biogas, which generates electricity. Or also digestate that can be used as a fertilizer. But let's not just focus in waste, but also in the food production.
An hydroponic garden is a food production system that combines conventional aquaculture, which includes such as snails, fish, crayfish, prawns, and plants. With hydroponic, the cultivation of plants is not conventional soil, but in water, in symbiotic environment. The excretion of animals begin raising can accumulate in the water, increasing the toxicity.
Many people are making now investments in space exploration. They are trying to search for a new planet that will be like Earth. They are basing all its resources on what Earth has in order to have life possible. But they are forgetting of our own Earth. Earth can still be saved. It is not wasted yet. So we made this project for the NASA, and we got some amazing possibilities that they could use in real life so they can save the Earth. So instead of the people only investing on space, they can invest here in Earth to make it better as it was before.
Well, we're going to put a video that, well, we actually found it in the internet. It's like a prototype of what life could be with the use of graphene on Earth. It's very long. If it's too long, we're going to cut it in the middle, but let me just,
Gracias.
There were some technical difficulties, so we had to find it on YouTube and not on the USB that we had. So it's a bit shorter than the one we were planning, but still it's very amazing, the uses of graphene. Well, we were planning on showing the whole video, but well, before we continue with the video, since there are only 2 minutes left, is there any questions or commentaries regarding our project?
Well, it was each team will like you choose which one will like stand up and read like their things on the paper, okay?
Okay, here.
Would you, I mean, if you want to read it, it's not obligatory.
Do I need to stand up?
The ones of Earth or space? Both? Okay, so Earth is solar energy, windmills, hydroelectric energy, tidal energy, and like you mentioned, methane energy. And for space, we could only think of solar energy and methane.
You can give me the paper.
Or do you want to give it? Or no, right? No, right?
Okay. That table
Yes.
goes used to
Well, we have only one question.
You only have one question?
No, we have.
No, you read both.
I mean, if you want. It's not necessary to read it. I beg your pardon?
Can we have like 5 questions?
Why 5 questions?
No,
5.
the answers of the questions there.
Or which questions are you referring to?
Okay.
Someone else who wants to?
Yeah.
It's the same. Yeah. You're very limited, right? What? Okay. Do you want to keep watching the video? Oh, yes?
Can we ask questions?
Yes, that's what I just said.
Okay. You stated that graphene will be serving medical purposes, including birth control. How does this work?
Well, not directly. Graphene could be used for machines or devices that are used for birth control.
Like to make fields or what?
Not to feel it. No, it's not consumable.
Like machines are going to know.
No, o sea, como, how, like what type of fish?
Okay. Yes.
Yes. You stated urine distillation through osmosis, and osmosis only happens through cells. And I don't know how does that include distillation.
Well, do you want me to explain you the process?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Well, with osmosis, well, there is going to be a high concentration of salt and also of sugar, which is going to separate the waste from the water, like a purification process. And then the leftover urea is going to be transformed into ammonia, which is going to produce also electricity, because it's not only a purification process, it's also for energy like electricity.
Was that answer understandable?
How much time will you take to do like all of this, and what will be like the cost?
The time that we need is the one that we're going to use. And the cost is
Well, there's one thing that we haven't explained yet. The reason that a project is a bit different from the others that are currently done is because this was done for a competition from NASA. And well, the purpose was to build a space settlement that could help, that would be self-sufficient and also help Earth. So that's the design of the satellite that we made. Yes?
Is making graphene expensive? Is graphene expensive?
At the current moment, the manufacturing of graphene, it is very expensive because the process is very complicated. But in a few years, we are expecting new technologies that reduce the cost. Yes?
Here.
Sorry.
For solar panels, what do you use the graphene for?
The solar panels will be based on graphene because graphene is very transparent and it also condenses very well. Compared with the solar panel that is used at the moment based on silicone, is about twice the efficiency. So,